I'd like to call to order the August meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. One thing for commission members, comment was made last time by our technical advisor, who's different tonight, to please make sure we speak into the microphones and make sure we speak up. A couple people were a little hard to hear.
And that your microphone is turned on.
Yeah, microphones, make sure microphone's turned on when you want to speak, but if we could just speak up a little bit, so we could be heard a little better. So that was a request. We don't need a roll call. We're all, we know of here. Is that okay? We have the approval of the minutes from the July meeting. They were in their packet. Does anyone have any questions or comments on them?
Move to approve the minutes as written.
Support.
We have support. Any question, debate on question on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote. That's when we need a roll call for that.
Berthold,
Yes.
Jacobitz,
Yes.
Beely,
Yes.
Kolesky.
Yes.
All right. Next item on the agenda, we have for 520 College Avenue, temporary use entertainment stage. What I'd like to do, like we normally do in something like this, we have the applicant, I assume the applicant's here. Okay, to come up and speak on that. And then commissioners will have a chance to ask questions. And then if we have anybody in the public comment, that will come, or questions that will come after that. And then we will make our decision what we want to do. So if somebody would like to please step up and introduce and give your name. And kind of give us a quick, I mean, we have all the paperwork, but kind of give us a quick rundown of what it is you wish to do.
So my name is Jansen Stone. I'm one of the mechanics and the managers for the bowling alley. But it's pretty simple what we have planned for the use of the stage. We just for on Wednesdays until our bowling season starts back up, we'll just have a DJ in the parking lot playing music until about 10 o'clock, just for the cornhole league that we have going on out there. And then we have also planned for the first Fridays playing until 10:30. A band will be playing out there until about 10:30. And then one additional Friday during the month, we'll have usually probably on the third week of the month, another band will play until about 10 o'clock. And then he's also talking about, he wants to do a like movie nights, possibly on Thursdays or Friday nights, starting around dusk, like as soon as sun starts going down. And then as far as the building of the stage, like it being built, he has all the necessary permits pulled, and work will be completed by the Victory Builders, Scott Yatsik. And the stage will be 16 by 16 made of wood, and it's not a permanent structure and will be placed on the blacktop parking lot.
It will be placed?
It'll be placed on the blacktop parking lot. Yes.
Okay, it's different than our drawing shows.
Yes, because he went through some different ideas, and he the new stuff that he gave us, it is saying that it'll be placed on the blacktop parking lot instead of on the hill, and it won't be built into the hill.
Okay, so I understand you are not the owner, you're not,
No.
okay. Just a couple things before I take some other comments here. Some of the things you're talking about wanting to do are kind of different than what we have in our paperwork here, unless there's been something new that I don't have.
No, this is the paperwork that I have.
Okay, so our paperwork talks about music on Wednesday and Thursday nights and on the first Friday. That's what ours that was submitted requests.
Yep, he has the Wednesday nights is for the party in the parking lot that we have. It's a cornhole league and everything. And that usually runs until about 9:30 on Wednesdays. And then for the first Fridays of the month.
But
Uh,
nothing on Thursdays then.
Thursdays he was talking about doing possibly like a movie night for Thursdays or Fridays.
Okay.
Like when the sun starts going down, he'll have like a screen, like a
And
big projector screen.
and
for
our
movies.
request asks for 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
That's usually when because that's when the bowling alley opens is 11 o'clock. And 11 p.m. is, he has it cut for the noise ordinance for 11 o'clock. He has everything set to be done before 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So will a band be playing from 11 in the morning till 11 at night?
No, not from that early in the morning. He'll have it just for when the events are taking place.
And when will the events take place?
For Wednesdays, it'll be the Cornhole League usually starts around 6 to 7 o'clock. People usually start showing up around 6 for practice, and the actual league doesn't start until about 7 o'clock. So it'll be from 7 until 9:30, 10 o'clock on
And-
Wednesdays.
And that's a DJ.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the DJ that
I'm
we
not trying to
have.
give you a hard time, but what you're saying just doesn't match our
Yeah,
information.
you're kind
Yeah.
of caught in the middle here. 'Cause it doesn't quite
he's-
match
Yeah.
up with what.
For what he has on the paper, it's for Wednesdays. That's just where he'll have the DJ set up at, instead of having to take up more space in the parking lot for the league. And then once all that's done, he's originally having the stage for like the band.
Oh, the parking lot brings up another question that I have. I was down there today. I see you have a whole fenced in area
Mhm.
there. When you have events going on, people don't park in that area?
No, we have that completely fenced off. We have during the week, we have the fence opened up. We'll have 2 different sets of gates on the fence, but when the event is taking place, we close those gates, and there's no parking in that area whatsoever.
Now, the fence doesn't show on the diagram.
On the because this
Put
picture,
it
the
up.
picture was taken off of Google Maps.
Huh.
Well, the
And
wooden stage was drawn in.
Yeah.
when the stage was drawn in,
Yeah, the
the
expectation is that the diagrams you submit with this will show pretty much everything on the site.
the 2 pictures that I have right here,
Uh-huh.
we have pictures of the parking lot, and we have just like
I don't
ideas
see where the
drawn
fence
up.
is though.
we have them. I don't think he printed those off.
Okay.
But we do have like drawings and like place for the seating chart, the fence, where everything's gonna be at.
Can you show
yeah.
that to us? Where will
Yeah.
the stage be now? It won't be on the hill. It will be on the parking lot?
This was the original spot for the stage, but he's
Uh-huh.
moving it into.
Just moving it forward in the parking lot.
This is where he has all the fencing is gonna be along through here. Fence goes along the edge of the parking lot and all the way around here. So this entire area is currently fenced in right here, all the way around.
And there's going to be a
There's a
bar outside?
Yeah, we have.
That's already there, right?
Yeah, we have.
Oh. That's right.
Can you
You might
speak?
wanna take that.
Yeah, we need a microphone, so. Oh,
Pass it down if you would, so everyone can see it.
When
I-
will,
oh, go ahead.
when will there be bands?
The bands, I believe once we get the stage built on, like when it's all completed, I think that's when he's gonna start working on getting
nights?
the bands.
What nights will it be bands?
As far as what it's looking, it's Wednesdays and Fridays.
I presume this will be amplified music.
That much, I'm assuming so, that they'll have like their own little speakers that the bands will bring in,
And where
But-
will the speakers be?
probably located towards the back of the stage, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Yes. From Wednesdays, it should be around 7 o'clock until about 10 o'clock.
7 to 10 and Friday?
Fridays, he will have a band playing until 10:30.
Starting at what time?
there is no start time on this paper. He doesn't have a specific start time.
And what goes on Thursday nights?
Thursday nights, as of right now, there's nothing. It was just the idea of having it, having a movie night possibly on a Thursday night or
Okay.
Friday night,
Okay.
starting at dusk.
If I live on Chandler Street, will I be able to hear this music?
I would assume so, yes, more
Okay.
than likely.
One other thing, I just want to bring the attention
Come
here.
on.
In the request, it was to start on August 4th or something.
It's just tomorrow.
Yeah, but I believe our ordinance says that their report has to be submitted, their request has to be submitted at least 30 days ahead of time. And it was submitted on July 13th. So I'm assuming then they could not start something until at least after August 13th. I'm assuming that. If anybody wants to jump in and tell me I'm wrong.
No?
Okay. Any other questions from commissioners at this point in time?
And you're saying it's going to go to October 31st, so Halloween time?
As far as the dates,
Yes.
I don't see anything on here as far as the dates on when he has it planned to,
Well, his application says August 4th, to October 31st.
Yeah.
okay. On that, I don't have anything on that. Let's see.
Anything from the
Okay,
city? I'm
yep.
sorry. Something else you had to say?
I found the description of the request on here. It is saying from
Okay.
August 4th to October 31st.
Anything that the city would like to enlighten us on?
So who did you speak to about pulling permits? You said you pulled permits.
That is, he said that all of the necessary permits will be pulled.
Okay.
He's gonna have them pulled for the construction of the
So
stage.
I went and looked at your property today. As it is, the seating that's out there was not given the okay. The fencing was not given the okay. In the,
Jeremiah, just to clarify, we're talking about the area
Outdoor dining area?
the outdoor
Outdoor
dining area
dining
towards the
area
front of the
and
building,
the rear.
towards the
So
street.
both.
Oh, okay, okay.
so they have an application to come in for the seating next month. But with this, when I look at your configuration, you're required to have, I believe it's 75 parking spaces. Oh, no, a total of 94 parking spaces. You have 103 with your setup. You have 63, which is 31 short of the need. So the board cannot grant you that without you applying for a variance as well.
Okay,
So with this, and because the fence was put up without our knowledge, they cannot give you the temporary use until you apply for a variance for that, because you don't have the parking.
okay.
Anything else from commissioners?
Well, based on Mr. Clement's comments, that kind of renders the point moot, it sounds like.
Yeah, only thing I thought maybe if we do have some people here to speak on, maybe we could hear them tonight on it.
Most of it, I would say at the, you can deny it or table it.
Yeah.
Till they can rectify the parking, and then hear it again is the other option. But as it stands, the 15 days, they're gonna miss the first Friday anyway.
Mhm.
They have an application in for the seating, their dining area, so staff's recommendation would be, because of the parking, either denial or table it till they can fix it. You're also missing 3 ADA parking spaces that were removed when the seating area was put in. So there's that too. There's
For the handicap parking.
quite a few
Mhm.
issues going on because of what was done without permission. And that's why we usually give you permission, is so that way these things don't happen.
You're kind of caught in the middle, I realize.
I wasn't, personally, I wasn't aware of this meeting, that I was coming to this meeting until this morning.
Yeah. Just, do we have anybody in the public who wants to speak on this? Just that you're kind of seeing where we're heading here, but I think we'd like to, if anybody has anything want to say, now's a good time to say it. I don't know where you're headed. Well,
Where would you like us to have?
If there's anything you'd like to say, please come up and give us your name and feel free to ask questions or make comments.
Well, I don't know where it's going, but I live on Chandler Street.
And
I
your-
live,
I'm sorry, your name, please?
Doug Leith, Leith.
Thank
I
you.
live on Chandler, the corner of College and Chandler,
Yeah.
on the, I guess would be the east side, not the west side of
Okay.
Chandler. Our property abuts right back to ZZ's.
Mhm.
And we have a full view of the cage or whatever that thing is there. It looks to me like I thought that there was going to be live music 3 nights a week, but apparently not. Is that
Kind
is-
of what the application that I thought was going to happen too.
That's what I thought. So that's why I said, I don't know where this is heading. I'm opposed to a temporary stage. I'm opposed to live music, and because it's like a echo chamber. Any echoing that bounces off that building bounces right back to our house and all the other houses on Chandler Street. So to have live music, amplified live music is just like crazy for a residential area. Kids live there, old people live there like myself, and it just wouldn't be good for residential properties just to have that kind of noise or music, going on. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else wish to speak on it? Okay, well, yeah, I do have one other question. If they do have a stage, are they allowed, do they have to get some type of permit to have the music just because they have the stage, or are there any requirements on that?
Not unless there's some sort of city ordinance, but I couldn't find one. I gave you the north.
Yeah, the noise ordinance, yeah.
Other than that, this would just be a temporary use for entertainment.
Okay. We did have some correspondence in reference to this, if I can find them here.
Page 9.
The one was from 603 College Avenue. And to sum it up shortly, they were not in favor. They were citing previous issues, activities going on after ZZ's has closed up, people staying, getting loud in the parking lot. I'm kind of just summarizing here. So their opposition. We had another one was opposed. I have no address for this other person, so I don't know what street they're on, but they were also opposed. And then we have one from comment from 999 Michigan Ave concerning the issues. They were kind of opposed the way things were, but they did say maybe there could be a trial period to see how it goes. That was just their perspective on things. So those are the 3 correspondents we had in a quick summary. So commissioners, you've heard the information, you've heard from the city. Do we have a motion on anything, or how would you like to handle this?
If I lived on Chandler Street, I wouldn't want any of this because it's immediately adjacent to my backyard. I mean, it would negatively impact,
Take a microphone, please.
it would negatively affect my ability to enjoy my backyard in the summertime and in the fall. I certainly understand the rationale for ZZ's wanting to have something like this. On the other hand, I think back to, probably under prior ownership, they were simply closed during August when it was slow bowling time. I can't see any maybe there's some circumstances, if they were just showing movies or having acoustic music or something like that, I could see this possibly being okay. But I don't see any circumstances with a live band and a DJ where I would approve this. On that basis, I don't see any reason for us to table it. And I would move to deny the application.
I will second that.
We have a motion and we have support to deny the application. Commissioners, any question on the motion? Hearing no questions on the motion is to deny. Roll call vote, please.
Jacobitz,
Yes.
Beely,
Yes.
Koleski,
Yes.
Berthel.
Yes.
Motion to deny the request for the temporary use passed unanimously.
And also, it just sounds like you have some other issues that you need to get, not you, but that get with your own owners or whatever on and get squared up with the city on the fencing and the handicap, lack of handicap parking and whatever else they have. I'm sure, they'll be able, but somebody needs to get that squared away. Okay. We don't have any other business other than we do allow for public comment. If there's anything you want to comment on this time. Nobody's jumping out of their seat to talk to us. Okay.
I have a question, please, Mike.
Yes.
In light of the CDC's recommendation that everybody, vaccinated or not, indoors be fully masked, what does it take for us to go back to Zoom meetings or to require masks in here?
I'll direct it to Mr. Elliott.
Thank you.
We've been monitoring the guidance is counties that are at a high level or a significant level of infection, of which there are a number in Michigan. So far, Lenawee is not in that category, last I checked. And so we've been monitoring that. The health department certainly could order that. They have not. The state has indicated they do not intend to have further guidance as it relates to face coverings, although they could change their mind. But we are monitoring that to see if we end up falling within the CDC's guidance. We would consider that for public buildings at that time if we reach that situation.
So if we move into red or orange, something will happen. In the meantime, can commissioners participate in these meetings through Zoom, or is that not allowed?
We are not allowed to participate via Zoom any
Okay.
longer under the current version of the Open Meetings Act. We can participate by Zoom only if there's a declared state of emergency, which there is not.
Okay, thank you.
The only other thing mentioned, reminder that our September meeting is going to be on the 14th rather than the 7th because of the holiday. So make sure you have that on your calendar. I don't know if we have any business coming or not, but a little early to see, but
We have ZZ's.
what?
We have ZZ's
We
back.
have ZZ's back. Okay. I think so. We will see everybody on the 14th and the zoning board will adjourn and planning commission will begin in about 8 minutes. Thank you.
So I was excited when we did it. A lot of them are excited about it. No, they're very good. I like them. Yes, it's by that outdoor shopping mall right off of 127. So I actually go to, that was for anything I always miss.
Folks, the little clock on my phone says it's 7 o'clock. We will call to order the August 3rd meeting of the Adrian City Planning Commission. First item on our agenda is a roll call. Jeremiah, if you would, please.
Sir, Jacobitz,
Here.
Love. Present. Weatherby. Johnson, Watson, Taylor. Present. Cotton,
Here.
Gauss. All members present.
Very good. Next item on our agenda is consideration of the minutes. Let's take a look first at those from the July 12th special meeting. Commissioners, you have a copy of those. I presume you've had an opportunity to review them. Are there any additions or corrections to the July 12th special meeting minutes?
I have two corrections.
Mr. Taylor?
On page 4 at the very top says the regular meeting rather than a special meeting.
Okay, yep.
And it was a boring day. I had a lot of time to read. And then the bottom of the page, second sentence there on the bottom, it says a draft of the master plan draft. We have too many drafts there.
You know, I read that and jumped right over it. Mhm.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I'd agree with you.
Okay.
So turn the plan was from outdated master plan.
Yeah, there shouldn't be.
Oh, there, okay, I see where, okay. We would entertain a motion to approve the July 12th minutes as corrected.
Move to approve.
Support.
Motion and support. All those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? July 12th minutes are approved as corrected. Taking a look at the July 13th regular meeting minutes. The only thing I found was the fourth sentence from the bottom of page 7. About 3/4 of the way through the line, that should be an AR rather than is. It's a grammar thing. It does not deal with anyone who. Yeah. Oh, wait, maybe not.
Where was that, sir? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Vice Chairman Watson expressed a need for the time limit. Commissioner Weatherby believes that this amendment allows for a guard to not deal with any who are confrontation.
Or it could be anyone who is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
But I think that was the only one I found. Any other additions or corrections to the July 13th minutes?
Just a capitalization on Commissioner Love. In that same,
Oh, the same paragraph? Yes. Second line, okay. If there are no additional additions or corrections, we would entertain a motion for approval of those minutes as corrected.
move for approval as corrected.
support.
Motion and support. All those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda is case number 21028 for 1310 East Division Street, which is a zoning exception permit and a site plan review for, pardon? East Maumee, excuse me, what did I say? Oh, okay, never mind. That's something else, isn't it, entirely? The next one down. Okay, East Maumee. Zoning exception permit and a site plan review for a marijuana cultivation and processing operation. Is there someone here to speak to that? Sir, if you'd step forward to the microphone and give us your name. And we've got your diagrams and your application, but if you could just give us like a thumbnail sketch of what it is you're proposing to do.
Well, what we're proposing to do is use it for marijuana cultivation.
Mhm.
Currently, it's a lot of blighted properties. This board always wants to take care of blighted properties. One of the conditions would be that they would clean up the property, make sure that it's presentable to the outside, and to whatever reasonable restrictions the board wants to put on it, I would ask them to approve it.
And did I catch your name, please?
Rod Leon.
Rod Leon.
Yes,
Thank you.
Leon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Leon from the planning commission?
Is this part of the old Lenawee Tire facility?
I believe it is.
Yes,
Okay.
it's the east side portion.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
If you do Google Maps, it shows part of the dairy. I didn't think they were going to convert the dairy to marijuana, but
No,
Okay.
no, it's across the street.
this
but
this fits.
It's a
yeah.
facility that's very limited in its use at the present time.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, sir. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the planning commission on this particular application? Anyone on Zoom? Okay, commissioners, staff has reviewed both the site plan and the application for zoning exception permit. And I believe that they, both in terms of both the site plan and the zoning exception permit, that all of the criteria have been met. There were a couple issues, but they are specific to the property and as in terms of setbacks, it's an existing building and we don't expect them to move the building. It was built prior to these zoning ordinances being in place. So unless there's some objection, the chair would rule that we could approve both the site plan and the zoning exception permit if we so chose. Any discussion, right? Is there a motion to do so?
Support.
Commissioner Gloss and Commissioner Taylor. Commissioners, any discussion? Any questions on the site plan? It will be nice to have this building rehab. We appreciate it. Good thing. If there is no additional discussion, we have a motion and support for approval of both the site plan and the zoning exception permit. We could have a roll call vote, please.
Watson. Johnson. Cotton.
Yes.
Gauss. Taylor.
Yes.
Jacobitz.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Weatherby.
Support.
Motion passed unanimously.
You're all set. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is a site plan review for a new processing building at the PPG plant. This one on Division Street. Is there someone here to speak to that? Sir, if you'd step forward and give us your name and tell us what it is you're proposing to do.
My name is Lee Gomez, and I'm the site manager at the PPG, pardon me, facility on Division Street. And what we are proposing is to erect a storage facility for finished goods on our current land. We're seeking approval of the site plan and then any necessary permitting required.
Any questions, commissioners?
No, the manufacturing will take place in our current manufacturing facilities. From there, we will transfer via piping to the proposed storage facility and then fill out of there.
Just out of curiosity, it's got nothing to do with the site plan, but what is it that you store there?
Liquid finished goods, adhesives and sealants is our
Oh.
primary finished good at that facility.
Okay.
So in the application, though, they said it was a processing building. Will there be processing there?
I don't, that's a great question. So,
That's what the application said. It just said it was a processing building.
okay, so in terms of definition, the main processing will be done. There will be adjustments done in that building. So if that falls under the definition of processing, then yes, sir.
Suppose while I'm talking to, I want to point out about the fire department. Chris has talked with Eric Massengale. There was some discrepancies over the location of that new one.
Of a hydrant.
Yep, of the fire hydrant. Their designer is not here last week, so they will be fixing that. So that'll be conditional as the recommendation.
Was there any other staff comments that we needed to be concerned about?
No, the only other thing to note was that they were storing semi-trailers there, which you'll notice on the site plan, which is on the back of everyone's
Okay,
site plan packets.
Yep.
They're putting in bumper blocks for those now, which then meets the ordinance. So
Okay,
a little bit of a fix here and there.
okay. Commissioners, comments or questions? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anyone in the audience, either in person or online, that wishes to address the planning commission on this site plan review? Hearing none. Commissioners, staff has reviewed this, and with the possible exception of the pending approval of the fire department about the location of the fire hydrant. It appears that we could approve this as presented. And would entertain a motion to do so conditional upon final approval of the hydrant placement.
Move to approve.
Cotton and Watson. Any additional discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Johnson. Cotton.
Yes.
Gauss.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Jacobitz.
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Weatherby.
Support.
Watson. Motion passed unanimously.
Okay. Best of luck with that. Mr. Lane, nice to see you too.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is case 21033, the sidewalk cafe ordinance amendment that we discussed last month. As you may recall, there was some inconsistencies in the way the ordinance was written as to measurements and in passageways. And the intent here is to specify that the passageway must be at least 6 feet, with the possible exception of when there are permanent obstructions like tree boxes and light poles and things like that, in which case they can be as little as no less than 4 feet. Any discussion on that?
Yes,
Any questions? Mr. Taylor?
Well, just a couple of comments. On page 23 under item F, it says the distance from the cafe to such obstruction shall not be less than 4 feet. Isn't that supposed to be from the fence, from the fencing to the obstruction?
I'm guessing not.
I mean, we consider the cafe, I guess, is the whole thing. So, I mean, I can change
Fencing
it.
has to be 6 feet from the back of the curb,
I can change that
Oh,
word to
but wait.
fencing.
Okay, so the fencing 6 feet back from the curb
and it wouldn't,
in the event of obstructions such as, but not limited to tree boxes. So like there's a tree box here. The distance from the cafe to. Now,
what if-
it's a little confusing, but I think this is the correct intent.
okay, but what if
We
it
can
turns
change the
out
cafe
that
to
that the fencing is 2 feet from the obstruction?
We want to change the word fencing to cafe.
I think he's trying to make sure that it's consistent with the word to make sure people don't try to measure a different part of their cafe
Right.
from obstructions
Mhm.
because it doesn't say fence in the ordinance.
Okay,
And I would agree with that.
with Don.
Yes.
Okay, and so the language we want is the distance from
The fence to such
such
obstruction.
obstruction shall not be less than 4 feet. Okay.
And also, on page 24,
Mhm.
don't look at my map that I have on my notes here, but if you look at A, it's also the same as F. B is the same as G, blah, blah, blah. So there's duplication here.
Who writes this stuff?
I didn't do it, I swear to God, it wasn't me.
So A and F are duplicates,
Right, and B and.
so we could scratch F.
Those aren't under, that's existing language. I mean, you can modify that if you want, but that's not part of the sidewalk cafe language, I think, when you're over on 20.
I know, but as long as we're here, we might as well clean it up.
They're duplicates.
I just wanted to point it out.
This is uses subject to a zoning exception permit.
I agree
Yeah.
with Rick.
Move B and G.
And what the other ones were
Yeah.
B and G, yeah.
Yeah,
Someone got a little
B,
crazy
F,
with the
and
cut and
G.
paste probably, so,
G and
A, B, F, and G.
H.
Yeah,
yeah. Probably better to have it too many
B,
times
C,
than
D,
not
and E
enough.
stay.
no, better to clean it.
Okay,
We'll get this faster.
And D and.
and D.
I.
A, B, F, G, H.
D and I, or D and I are duplicates.
Yep.
Mhm. So I is
I think the
redundant.
whole part of that is just repeated.
Yeah. I'll just remove.
You can keep A, B,
I
C,
mean,
D, and
yeah,
E, and then. you
Oh, yeah,
Go down
yeah.
to jails.
Okay, yep, yep.
Yeah, I think
Category
so.
1, 2.
Yeah, like I said, somebody got kind of crazy with cut and paste.
Yeah, I think you have to wipe out E as well.
Okay.
E E
And
and
get rid of
J
E,
are
okay.
identical, except J has details and E does not.
Right.
So, yeah.
And yeah, just scratch E entirely,
But J would become E, I would think.
or something like that.
Basically.
I will
Yeah.
I will
There was a
rely on
whole
staff to
letter
clean this up.
Here.
Okay,
I think
we're good.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any additional discussion about the cafe issues? This certainly does clarify it.
Mhm.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the planning commission on this particular matter? Hearing none, this, oh, Madam Mayor?
I just know at the last planning commission meeting, there was discussion about, is there a 4-foot distance between, I know there's an existing cafe already out there that has a fence, and I know there was some discussion with Commissioner Love with if the stroller could get through, and I did drive by that evening after that meeting, and I was even highly questioning. It didn't look like it, but I didn't know if that had been taken care of and looked into and measured. So I guess that was a question more than a comment.
So I did actually go measure it. It's 5 foot where it's angled in. It's 5 foot. It doesn't, I know it doesn't look like it. but it's
So
5 foot.
conveniently enough, 2 days later, when my wife walked by, it was wide enough now
For the stroller.
for the stroller, but you could tell it had been moved.
Oh.
So they may be adjusting it
So-
without.
Oh, good.
now.
So that might be why. Okay.
Compliance is what we're looking for.
Oh, that's great news.
Okay. That was, I just
Yeah,
wanted to,
so-
I was just questioning that from
Thank
last
you.
one. All right. Thank you.
I can potentially talk to engineering and park services and see if we can mark where their 4-foot line would be.
Yeah.
Then we'll know.
Yeah.
Just
True.
a possibility.
True. Okay. Commissioners, any additional discussion on this? Okay, this, any action we take to change this ordinance would be in the form of a recommendation to the city commission. And we would entertain a motion to that effect.
I move to approve.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Love with support from Commissioner Watson to recommend to the city commission this change to the ordinance.
One question for you. Do I need to put our cleanup in there too? Or is that,
I'm sorry, Bob,
do we need to put this cleanup in there too?
yeah, I presume that was part of the motion.
Yes, it was.
Okay, yes. And everyone understands that.
Is it okay to do that, Greg?
Fine. This was before you tonight, so you can make a recommendation on it with the modifications.
Okay. We're ready to vote. Please call the roll.
Taylor,
Yes.
Gauss,
Yes.
Cotton,
Yes.
Jacobitz,
Yes.
Love,
Yes.
Weatherby,
Support.
Johnson, and Watson.
Support.
Motion passed unanimously.
Very good. Is there any other business to come before us this evening? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the planning commission? You have a staff comment? Okay.
So we met with Giffords Webster virtually this week. The soonest they could get with us was yesterday. They plan on getting us a fixed good draft in 2 weeks, I believe they said. We will review that within a week, and you guys should have that by the 23rd is the hope. My hope is to have that to you, so you have it for the 14th meeting, so that way you can review it and have ample time. I'm gonna print them out for everyone, and I'll probably just drop them off at your home, so that way you don't have to print them because it's very long. So Weatherby, I'm gonna send you yours.
Thank you.
Other than that, that's the only update I have on that, and they will present at the 14th meeting, so September 14th.
So they will present?
I believe, Greg, they're gonna present, right?
Yeah, the plan was to have a week to make any further changes. So then I have a final draft by the end of the month that will be presented at the 14th meeting. That's correct.
In person?
I was gonna say in person.
Yeah,
or-
an in-person meeting or a Zoom meeting?
We can request that they be here in person.
That would be appreciated.
That sure would be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Is there any other business to come before us? So we already have, it's set for the 14th. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So move.
Support.
And motion and support, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.